Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, it is time to talk about a huge update. One that is coming very soon, and it is the Halloween update, the Halloween event, or more specifically, Fortnitemares 2018. That is right guys, we just got our first official announcement of the Fortnitemares event, so we're going to be going through all of the details of that, coming up with theories about what exactly the picture they put up means, the new skin that they showed in it, we'll talk about that, and we're also going to go over things like when the Fortnitemares event will likely start, how Ghoul Trooper could be returning, what we can expect from the Fortnitemares event in terms of like special things happening, and you'll see what I mean when I go over all of them, and just a bunch of stuff related to this event. So yeah guys, if you are hyped for the Halloween event, Fortnitemares 2018, be sure to hit that like button down below. On top of that, comment your favorite skins, Skull Trooper or Ghoul Trooper. We're gonna maybe be talking a little bit about those skins, so leave your favorite down below in the comments. But yeah guys, without further ado here, let's jump on into it with the first thing I want to go over, and that is the date of this event, at least the likely date for this event. So first of all, how can we even, begin to guess when this event is going to be happening? Obviously, we just got an announcement from Fortnite game itself teasing about this event coming through, and that came with a very interesting description and picture, which we're going to dissect every little piece of it and figure out what it means. But if they tweeted about that stuff today on October 20th, I'm starting to think that the event for Fortnitemares 2018 will be starting most likely October 26th. It could be a little bit earlier. I'd say maybe October 23rd at the earliest, but for sure the 26th should be the most likely date for two main reasons. The first of which is that Fortnitemares 2017, the event that happened last year for Halloween, that event started on October 26th. And this time around we thought they would probably do something earlier because that's less than a week away from Halloween, and we really wanted this event to be a lot longer. But I mean, as it's looking right now, that's only 6 days away, so it would make sense that the 26th would be the likely date for Fortnitemares 2018. On top of that, it's also a Friday. That's like the perfect date to release something like this, because everybody would have the weekend before Halloween to play in game, play with the new events and stuff going on. I think it could be a ton of fun. I think that would be the best way to set it up, but who knows, maybe they do it on Tuesday or Wednesday when they usually do updates, and that would be the 23rd and the 24th. So yeah, again, either the 23rd or 24th, but most likely the 26th, which is a Friday. Now, real quick, something I want to go over is stuff about how new skins are going to be released during this event. Obviously, we know for sure that some new skins are going to be coming during Fortnitemares 2018, but the question is whether or not they're going to be exclusive to Fortnitemares. And when I say exclusive, I mean they could come back next year for Halloween, but I'm wondering if these could be exclusive to Halloween in like the Fortnitemares event and not released until next year again. However, something that makes me not really think that anymore is that Skull Trooper was released during Fortnitemares and he came back outside of Fortnitemares. Technically, he did come back for Halloween, but clearly Fortnitemares skins weren't exclusive. So most likely do not expect anything like that in terms of exclusive skins. Just get the ones you want or none at all. Depends on what you like and what you want to get, but for sure we can expect some new skins there. And speaking of skins, this next thing here, I actually have a bit of proof of this possibly happening, and that is the pumpkin launcher returning to Battle Royale. That is right guys, if you don't remember this thing, it was crazy. It was so scary. If you were not playing back in last Halloween, basically what the pumpkin launcher was obviously a version of the rocket launcher, but it had this scary little face of a pumpkin. Obviously it shot the pumpkins out, but that wasn't the worst part about it. It made this scary sound. It was this creepy laugh that happened whenever you shot the rocket and whenever the rocket actually like hit something. So yes, this is most likely going to be coming back, but how can I say that? Well, that is because they actually re-released an item in Save the World that was released in last Fortnitemares. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I believe it's live in game right now. It's the reskinned version of the AR, the normal AR that we have in Battle Royale. And really, I do wish they would bring this from Save the World into Battle Royale. It's just like a little bit of a special skin. But I actually saw this from the Fortnite France account first, but they did bring this Save the World weapon back from last Fortnitemares into this one. So I think they would do the same to Battle Royale. So hopefully they do decide to do that. But you know what? Before we get into all of the other things that we have to talk about, let's jump into it with the official announcement from Fortnite game itself with this picture right here and a very interesting description that gives us 3 to 4 clues kind of what is going to be happening in this Fortnitemares. So first of all, let's talk about what they said with this tweet, and that specifically was costumes and dancing, partner up, be wise, they could be friendly or a ghoul in disguise. So yes, what does all of that mean? mean? It actually means quite a few things. So let's go ahead and dissect this before getting into the picture itself, because it sort of sets it up. But the first part, costumes and dancing. Obviously that means that brand new skins are going to be coming like we talked about. They may or may not be exclusive, but there are for sure some new ones coming out into the item shop, maybe some free ones even, which we'll go over. But the other interesting part about that is dancing, which could definitely mean that we're going to be getting some Halloween based emotes, which I don't believe we even really have any. So I could see something like the Thriller dance coming into the item shop soon. So definitely expect something like that. But after that, it starts to get a little bit more secretive because they have partner up be wise, which to me means that there's going to be a special game mode coming out into the game. This one's, 50-50 of it happening or not, but I would like to see like a special game mode for Halloween as part of Fortnitemares. I think that'd be super cool, and it would be very similar to events they've done in the past, like the high stakes event. So could they have something like that? People have been talking about maybe like a trick or treat game mode, something that utilizes the doorbells that were just put onto the map, where like maybe you have to go to the house, you ring the doorbell, you get some candy, and whichever team has the most candy at the end, which would also mean that when you eliminate other players, they could maybe drop their candy and you pick it up. So that's your incentive to like go and find people and not just to be the last alive. That would actually be very interesting. I hope they do something like that. But since they say partner up, maybe this could mean that. Now on top of that, they also said they could be friendly, which I really don't think it means anything as of right now. It could possibly have something to do with a game mode again. I'm not 100% sure. But the final thing that they say in this is, or a ghoul in disguise. Which, why else would they say ghoul if they were not referencing something to do with Ghoul Trooper? I mean, come on guys, it has got to be Ghoul Trooper coming back. Or honestly, I don't know for sure, but why would they choose those words if they weren't going to be talking about Ghoul Trooper returning in some way? And if they brought back Skull Trooper, why would they not bring back Ghoul Trooper? Doesn't really make sense. So I hope they do decide to do something like that. On top of that though, we have the picture, which itself we have to jump into a little bit. It definitely could be the male version of Ghoul Trooper. I mean, we've seen it before happen with Skull Trooper, which got the Skull Ranger skin released a little bit ago. So having a male counterpart to the female Ghoul Trooper definitely could make sense. However, what's interesting about that is that Ghoul Trooper is pretty, standard. And so is Skull Ranger. They're pretty similar, but this skin right here has a cowboy hat. It has dreads. Like, I'm just a little bit thrown off by that right here. So this could also mean that it's some opposite version of Calamity. And this is the way that we're getting the counterpart to Calamity itself. But then again, that's not necessarily something that's required. Last season, we did get a counterpart to Ragnarok, but that was the level 100 skin. And Drift, which was the starting skin that you could level up, never got a counterpart. So it's not a necessity that Calamity has a counterpart. So again, we're not exactly sure. This could be one of both. It could maybe be a mix of those things, but by far it is pretty interesting, and he's got some glowing eyes right there. Oh, and also I do want to throw out that he could be like some sort of witch doctor inspired skin. If you know what I mean. I think that's something from like Scooby-Doo. I can't find a picture unfortunately, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And then one tiny little thing I want to note is this little, sort of rift looking crack in the side of the screenshot. Could that have something to do with the cube stuff that is going on the map right now? Not 100% sure, but we'll have to see in a couple of days. But yeah, guys, moving on to the next thing I want to talk about, new challenges. This one isn't confirmed and this is just a guess, but it just has to be super likely. If we've gotten challenges for basically the previous events recently, like high stakes, we also had one for the birthday event, which got you the birthday cake back bling, and we've also had a couple before, some special challenges where you can get some free items. We even just had the Skull Trooper challenges, so I definitely expect something like that to come back into the game, and if there's something to find, you guys know that I'll be making a guide for you. But I don't know, expect something like maybe 3 challenges if it does happen, and that way you can get maybe a special back bling, or actually I'd probably expect a pickaxe since we did just have the ghost portal back bling. But then on top of that, you probably end up with a spray, maybe an emote, and then XP for the other challenges, similar to the high stakes event I would guess. So should hopefully be pretty fun. I'm excited to see what they do with that. After that then though, something that is super likely to happen is even more changes on the map. You guys know that we've already had a ton of things changing, like literally almost every house in the game has gotten Halloween decorations. Or not every house, but a vast majority of the houses and buildings have been getting these Halloween decorations. Like I'm talking about even the ones that you wouldn't expect, like this gas station near the soccer stadium near Tilted Towers has decorations for Halloween. They went all out and did these slowly. As you remember in our changes videos, we've covered pretty much all of these changes to the map, and we'll maybe go over those changes in more detail in a separate video, but it's been happening so slowly. Like every day they maybe add a couple new decorations to some buildings around the map, but it is at a point where it can't really happen anymore. Now we're getting a little bit off track here, so that means that we're going to be probably getting this event soon, but it also could mean that maybe we're going to be getting some new special areas for loot and stuff around the map. If you guys remember, a good example of this was maybe the Chinese New Year event that was going around. If you remember, they had these like structures show up. They had a couple of chests in them, some ammo boxes. A lot of people actually went to these. They were kind of similar to the stone statue heads, if you remember from last season. I think that could happen, but be like Halloween inspired. Maybe there's like mini tombs and stuff that you go into, like mini graves or things showing up around the map. I would love to see like a haunted house where you go inside of it and there's like traps and you can fall through the floor into like a spike room. I don't know. I think that would be so cool. But definitely expect some new form of structure on the map. That's got to be something coming out soon. I would expect it. Now, the final thing I want to talk about here, guys, is not necessarily something to do with the Halloween event. Just a little teeny idea. Just a little idea, all right? So take it with a grain of salt. But if you remember, a little bit ago, we talked about the Fortnitemares picture that was tweeted and how there was that pink sort of rift-looking crack in the corner. Now, this reminds me a lot of the promotional pictures for like before Season 6 that had these rift-type, things on them. And the one in this picture is specifically pink. Now, why is that significant? Well, if you remember, all of the lightning and stuff that has to do with the cube is also pink. And you guys should know that there is a ton of stuff going on with the cube right now. The island is in the center of the map. Depends on when you're watching this. It maybe already did whatever it was going to do. But could this Fortnitemares event be related to the cube doing its stuff? It's entirely possible. Maybe that's how they teleport some things on the map. Maybe that's how it gets turned into like a zombie area. I don't exactly know. But there's some theories to talk about right there. So if you guys have ideas, leave them down below in the comments of how the Cube Island could maybe be connected to Fortnitemares in some way. But either way, I am so excited for this event. And if you guys are excited, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below because I'm going to be doing more videos covering Fortnitemares stuff in the near future. And yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. So be sure to check out some of my other videos here, such as on the left, going through all of the update changes in the last update. And then on the right, the week 4 challenges guide. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video and I will see you in the next one.